Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Idania Saborio. I am in Professor Rovero's Chicano 54 class, and today I'm going to be talking about my altar. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is who I decided to do my altar on. So I decided to pay tribute in regards to my great aunt, my tia Miriam Castillo's memory. So my tia Miriam is my paternal grandmother's sister. So the reason I decided to pick my tia Miriam is because of the fact that her and I were very close. She actually served as an alternate grandmother to me growing up. My family is from Nicaragua, so I didn't get to really grow up with my grandmother. So she kind of filled in that role for me, so I'm very, very grateful for her. Secondly, she was a very inspiring woman. All of the things that she accomplished, especially for her time, I think are definitely commendable and inspirational, and definitely have served in regards to my personal inspiration. Now I want to go ahead and just talk about what is on the altar. So first, a thing that you see above her name, Miriam Castillo, are the handmade tissue flowers that I did. So I did all of these, as well as the ones that are on the tiers, and one right there. Here we have the 4 pictures that I have of her. So the first picture that I decided to utilize is the picture of when I believe my tia was in her mid-20s. This was when she was living in Managua, Nicaragua, when she was actually going to school there to become a registered nurse. Next, we have the picture of my tia Miriam with my niece Lunita. I have this one and actually this one. The reason I decided to use both of these pictures is because they are some of my favorite pictures. My tia Miriam actually passed away not too long after this, so I'm very, very happy that I was able to capture this moment. And then lastly, this is my favorite picture of my tia Miriam on her own. She loved flowers. This was actually when she was living in New York while she was working with the Somoza family. So super beautiful picture. So that is why I incorporated these 4 pictures. Next, we have the sugar skull that I actually hand painted. So it was a plain skull that I painted white. I filled in the eyes, and then everything that you see here on the face. Now I want to go ahead and talk about my tia Miriam's favorites, but before I do that, I just want to go ahead and show. So this is the biography that I went ahead and wrote about her, just in regards to her life. So the first thing that you see here are the pinto beans. So my tia was what we call a frijolera. She loved her frijoles. She also really, really loved sopa de frijol. I unfortunately don't know how to make sopa de frijol, which is why I have the pinto bean cans to kind of just represent that. That was some of her favorite food. Next, my aunt loved pastries and then candy, which is why I have the Hershey's, the Nerds, and then the butter cookies there. Next, we have this bottle of perfume. My tia was what we call vanidiosa, so she loved to always make sure that she had at least a little bit of makeup on, and that she was smelling good. She actually is the one that got me into fragrances. Every year she would actually buy me a body spray, and then eventually, as I got older, she would get me perfumes. We also have the hairbrush here. Again, she always made sure that she would brush her hair out anytime, any place. She actually carried a brush in her purse with her, and her thing was to wear diademas, which are little headbands, as you can see right here. So that is why I have that. And then lastly, the passport is just to represent travel in her life. Traveling was one of my tia Miriam's loves. You know, she spent the majority of her life traveling. She lived in multiple places. She lived in Washington DC, in Texas, as well as New York and Switzerland. So that these are all things that essentially represent stages in her life and just her favorites as well. And then the last thing that I want to talk about today is the process. So I'm not gonna lie, the process was a little bit difficult. I don't consider myself a very crafty person. However, I do think that the outcome is beautiful. I've also incorporated some flowers just because she did really like flowers. Sunflowers are some of her favorites. Excuse me. So as well as that, and the process was not easy, but again, I'm so happy with the outcome. It was definitely a learning experience, but I'm so grateful to have been able to do this project, to pay tribute, and to essentially get to learn a little bit more about my tia. I got to learn some things that I actually didn't know about her before. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.